Docteur Synapse.
The EKG in 8 steps. First, the heart rate. It is equal 300 divided by the number of large square. In the right, we have a normal EKG. We will calculate the number of large square between each QRS complex. Here, we have 4 large square between each QRS complex, R1, R2, R3. In this example, the heart rate is 300 split 4. It is equal to 75 beats per minute. The second step is the cardiac rhythm. Is it regular or irregular? If it is regular, the R1, R2 interval will equal the R2, R3 interval. If it is irregular, the R1, R2 interval will be different than the R2, R3 interval. An example of irregular rhythm is atrial fibrillation. The third step is the electrical axis of the heart. With the yellow color, I will mark off the normal axis of the heart between AVL and AVF. The red color defines the left axis deviation. And for the last, in blue, the right axis deviation. To find out the position of the heart, we are going to look at the QRS complex sign at D1 and D2. If the heart is in the normal position, D1 will be positive and D2 positive. Left axis deviation, D1 positive, D2 negative. Right axis deviation, D1 negative, D2 positive or negative. An example of left axis deviation, the left ventricular hypertrophy. An example of right axis deviation is left anterior fascicular block or right ventricular hypertrophy. Okay, step 4. We will take a normal EKG. First, the P wave. We will see if she is present. Also, the sign of the P wave. Is it positive? The P wave amplitude. It must be lower than 0.25 millivolts. And last, the duration of the P wave, inferior to 0.12 seconds. Step 5. The PR interval. It is the time from the onset of the P wave to the start of the QRS complex. To read the PR interval, first we will see the duration, lower than 0.12 seconds. It is equal to 3 small squares. After, we have to see if the PR interval is regular. For example, if we have a PR interval prolongation and a blocked P wave, it is a second degree AV block Mobitz 1. Step 6. The QRS complex. Its duration has to be lower than 0.11 seconds. If its duration is between 0.12 and 0.15, it is a right blocked bundle branch or a left one. If its duration is more than 0.15, you have to think about ventricular tachycardia or ventricular fibrillation. Step 7. The ST segment. You have to watch the ST segment on all derivations. The ST segment must be flat. If you have an elevation, you must think about myocardial infarction with ST elevation. If you have a depression of the ST segment, you have to think this time about non-ST elevation, myocardial infarction. The last step to watch the EKG in all the derivations. Search for the signs of left ventricular hypertrophy, pericarditis, or hyperkalemia. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching this video. Feel free to write me a question, a comment, or a subject of interest.